History is filled with great moms, nurturing, loving, protective. And then there are these moms, the ones who took tough love to a whole new level, and whose parenting techniques make today's helicopter moms look like angels. Let's dive into some of the worst mothers in history. Brace yourselves. First up, we have Agrippina the Younger. You might know her as the mother of the infamous Roman Emperor Nero. Agrippina's parenting style was a bit on the extreme side. She was the kind of mom who believed that to get her son to the top, no amount of scheming was too much. She poisoned her way through the Roman elite, got Nero onto the throne, and was all set to rule behind the scenes. But here's where things get awkward. Once Nero became emperor, he got a little tired of mom calling the shots, so he decided to repay her devotion by trying to murder her. In his defense, Agrippina was the kind of mom who'd totally remind you to clean your room after a political takeover. And then we have Catherine de' Medici, the Queen Mother of France. If helicopter parenting existed back in the 16th century, Catherine would have been piloting a fleet of Blackhawks. She was obsessed with making sure her sons stayed in power, even if it meant orchestrating one of the bloodiest massacres in French history, the St. Bartholomew's Day Massacre. Thousands died. But hey, as long as her boys were safe on the throne, right? Catherine's motto must have been something like, "Who needs bedtime stories when you have political assassinations?" You know, classic mom stuff. Next, meet Olympias, mother of Alexander the Great. Talk about a stage mom. Olympias didn't just push her son to succeed, she literally convinced him that he was the son of Zeus. I mean, telling your kid he's special is one thing, but claiming he's a god? That's some next-level mom pressure. Olympias had no chill when it came to family drama either. She may have had Alexander's rivals murdered, including some of his siblings. If you ever thought your mom played favorites, just remember, at least she didn't have your brothers assassinated. Now let's talk about Mary Ball Washington, mother of George Washington. While George was off leading the American Revolution, Mary spent her time complaining. She wasn't impressed with her son's heroic efforts. In fact, while he was busy trying to secure independence for the colonies, she was busy writing him letters about how he wasn't sending her enough money. Nothing says founding father quite like being guilt-tripped by your mom for not calling during a war for independence. George might have crossed the Delaware, but he could never cross his mom without getting an earful. Next up is Marie Antoinette, the infamous Queen of France. Okay, so she wasn't exactly directly responsible for her kids' misfortunes, but she was a little distracted. While the French Revolution was about to explode, Marie was busy, well, eating cake and throwing lavish parties. Her children? Let's just say they didn't get a lot of time with mom. Her son Louis was imprisoned during the revolution, and she didn't really do much to stop it. Let's face it, if there were a Mom of the Year award, Marie wouldn't even be nominated. She was more interested in fashion than family dinners. Then, we have Empress Dowager Cixi of China. Cixi was all about power, and her son was just a pawn in a game of political chess. She ruled from behind the throne by manipulating her son's every move. Cixi once had her own son placed under house arrest because he wasn't following her orders. That's right, house arrest. When most moms ground their kids, it's for sneaking out or bad grades. When Cixi did it, it was because her son tried to rule his own empire. Classic overreaction, right? Last, but definitely not least, is Cleopatra. The famous Egyptian queen was known for her beauty, her brains, and her ability to use her kids for political gain. Cleopatra had children with both Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, but motherhood didn't exactly soften her. She saw her kids as bargaining chips in her quest for power. While other moms were busy making school lunches, Cleopatra was busy making alliances. When she eventually lost her battle against the Romans, she left her kids to deal with the fallout. Parenting tip: don't use your kids to play games in international politics. So there you have it, some of the worst moms in history. From poisoning their way to power to guilt-tripping their kids during revolutions, these moms were anything but ordinary. And now, it's time for you to subscribe.